up in question. I was just worried about you being sick. I was wondering, was Solomon the first Satanist for using the demons for constructing his temple? Solomon is the one that Freemasonry is based on. Sorry to say, it's kind of depressing. But the whole reasoning behind the Illuminati and Freemasonry and everything all goes back to Solomon. And Solomon had written a book on how to conjure up demons and incantations, how to put spells, witchcraft spells on people and stuff. He is a very, very dominant Satanist. People think, the churches teach, that in Solomon's last days, his heart turned away from the Lord because of so many wives he had, that they were all pagan, and this is very true. But one of the things that the Lord had told me, showed me, is that he had left the Lord for 300 to 400 years before he died. Solomon lived, about, I don't know how many years, 500, 600, 700 years. He spent 300 of them away from the Lord when he left the Lord. So it wasn't just something that happened towards his old age like we think of it, because we only live to be 70 years old, and towards our old age people get senile and things like that. It wasn't like that. He was an active Satanist and pagan for 300 years before he died. Another thing also, folks, something else that always comes to my mind, is that when Jesus died and went down for 3 days, he preached in hell. So there was a lower and upper Sheol. They call it the upper bosom of Abraham. And he preached for 3 days these lost souls in hell. And so they could have had a change of heart at that time, and went to heaven to be with the Lord, went to heaven with him, because he defeated death. And when he rose, they rose with him. And so that's a possibility that Solomon had a change of heart and repented. I can't say either way, but it's just something to think about. Question from an email. Do you think God will call his people into the wilderness? If yes, where? It's already written by the prophets for the Israelites to head to Petra. So when they see Sananda arriving in Jerusalem, via NASA's shuttle, most likely, I'm sure he'll get his New Jerusalem and his second Capricorn ship running, and a NASA taxi in the background. They need to get out of there. Even if they see Maitreya arriving, this 12th Mahdi that the Iranians are waiting for, they need to get out of Israel when they see him arrive. And so the Old Testament prophets have told them that the Lord has prepared a place for them called Petra in the wilderness, and today it's in modern-day Jordan. And I believe they filmed, what movie was it? There was a couple of them filmed there. Raiders of the Lost Ark. 1 and 2, I believe, was filmed at Petra. Somebody can correct me on that. But it's the Rose Red City, and it's called Petra, and that's where they need to go. So yeah, basically when you see Maitreya arrive, this Arabian Mahdi, Messiah, that's when to go. As far as America goes, he'll take care of his people. There's other things that are going to be happening here. First of all, he's not going to protect all of his people. In fact, I didn't even get into that tonight. I'll get into it next week. He's going to not choose to protect his entire bride here. He's going to let them be tested. And he's going to let them be tested through martial law. Now, those that he does protect, that will be by his hand. That's all I can say. You're going to have various things happening here. You're going to have the rapture of the 144,000 disappearing. First fruits rapture. And the bride is still here, going through martial law that either Obama, Jr., or Hillary is going to be allowing. And that's what they're getting ready for now, with signing these military agreements with Canada, so Canadian troops can come over here. And they've already got agreements with UN peace, what do you call them? These peacekeepers that wouldn't know a thing about peace. Coming into America, Germans and Russians and Canadians, everybody here enforcing martial law. There is going to be a war on the saints by Maitreya against the Christians of this nation, and the Lord's going to allow it. And so I do know that he's going to lead many of you to go to the mountains and in the high and the dry places, the mountains and the wilderness itself, the wilderness areas. But many more of you are going to be caught unaware because there's so many that are sleeping and not even paying attention to what's going on. And these are the ones he's going to allow to be tested in martial law. Second question, are God's 144,000 called to take up arms against the New World Order? There's two groups of 144,000. There's the evangelists and the warriors. The evangelists are 12,000 sealed from each tribe, and they'll go during the second half preaching repentance and forgiveness and things like that. They're the evangelists. And then you have the 144,000 that are the warriors. And we are taking up arms. We're already in action. We're not waiting for a specific sealing or calling. We will get it when he raptures up and put his names on our forehead and sent us back to earth. We're already mobilizing, you know. And our arms are different than Satan's. We don't have physical weapons we're using. We have orgone and we have prayer. And if you don't think prayer is effective, I gotta tell you that list I have, fun things to do as a warrior for the Most High, is completely destroying their underground base system. I see in the codes all the time. One of the funniest things, we just have this list of 60 things to pray for things that can go wrong. And it's totally effective. It's totally causing chaos in the underground bases. Okay, last question I'm going to answer. Do the points matter on the crystals? No. When making orgone? No. Can gold be used in orgone? I would guess it's a metal. Lord's never told me one way or the other on gold. Lord's never told me anything. I've had questions before from people. Can I put gold in orgone? I just said, ask the Lord. I've never owned gold. I don't. It's a pure metal, so I would imagine. You know, you get into this New Age stuff. When you get into points and all this stuff, I don't get into that, you know, because everything that we have in our orgone muffin is things that the earth produces. You know, you have the copper and crystals. The only thing would be the resin, and that just serves as a I don't know, a buffer or insulator or whatever, because the orgone we create emits a specific energy. I mean, there's tons of different types of orgone you can make. You'll see it online. You'll see it on eBay, where people are just making many different variations of orgone. Keep in mind that we're focusing on a certain and specific orgone that's destroying Satan's kingdom, and that's the orgone that the Lord showed me how to make, and I have it on my website, orgoneblasters.com. There's a make your own page, and you can learn how to make it yourself, because we're making a very specific energy orgone, and it's this orgone that's causing the UFOs to fall out of the sky. And so until next week, everybody, you know, just keep your eyes on the skies. Going to be seeing a lot of interesting things. Maybe parts of Capricorn will wash up on the shores of Japan or something. I don't know. But we're definitely gonna see the ball rolling, folks. So we're gonna find out in March. We'll find out whether this is gonna be just another 2008 year, or if this is the biblical 2009 year. And I'm going to put some stuff on my website at backtooyahweh.com. We're going to start thinking of Passover, celebrating Passover this year. And so I'll be talking about that next week, giving you some tips and some heads up on celebrating Passover, and let you know when that's going to be this year. That's definitely one festival, one anointed time with the Lord that I like to keep. It's the only one I understand. The others I really don't know what to do. You get clueless. But this one I have down. I'm getting down. Probably the main one of the year for me. And so I really enjoy it. Love Passover. It's, you know, every year it gets a lot easier. And a lot more fun and relaxing and not so stressed. Am I doing it right? So we'll talk about that next week, folks. Until then, God bless.